Hello there, Alex. Okay, thanks for your kind words, and I'll try and improve the amount of grammar explanations. But it's sometimes there's a bit of a limit, so we've got to find a balance between doing it in the state of time and elucidating the mistakes that have been made. Sorry. There we go. All right, let's carry on. The bar charts illustrated the proportion. Okay, we can use the present tense. The bar charts illustrate the proportion of the total budget spent on different categories by 3 councils in the UK in 2014. Textbook. Perfect. That is wonderful. Good work there, Alex. As for Yorkshire, education dominated the total expenditure, together with the second largest spending on leisure. The two accounted for nearly 2/3 of the total. Good. The rest. Okay, now I can see how you've organised this. Personally, I would have gone for education, and maybe I'd have gone for education and leisure, talked about that in all 3, and then just talked about the other sectors in the next, for all 3, in the next paragraph. Okay, and then we've got 2 paragraphs, and it's a bit easier for you to make comparisons and use while and whereas. Yeah, so we could say Yorkshire spent the largest amount on education, followed by Lancashire, then Derbyshire, while Derbyshire spent the most on leisure, followed by Lancashire, then Yorkshire. Full stop. Incidentally, no, something like these. Both education and leisure represent easily the highest sections of spending for all 3 UK regions, or something like that. Okay, but it's a good opportunity to identify and make a group there. Okay, let's go. Derbyshire had the highest amount of spending on leisure, overtaking the place on education. Overtaking, no. I could just say considerably higher than education, okay, or something like that. It's noticeable that social sciences services occupied the least amount, much less than all the other departments. Okay, the spending distribution of Lancashire shows a similar proportion to that of Yorkshire, notably with education and leisure taking up the majority sum, and the rest are shared equally by the other activities. Okay, overall, yeah, you see we've missed a bit of these green bits in community care. Okay, we haven't really mentioned those, and it would have been, I think it would have been good, and especially we should have mentioned that one. Oh, you did actually, sorry, the smallest. Okay, overall, the 3 regions displayed similar fractions of spending on education and leisure functions, while the rest of the money was used evenly, or roughly evenly, in other fields such as community care, social sciences, and the environment. I don't know if that would be evenly. Okay, maybe environment would be evenly. Yes, similar at least, but that's like one major exception that should have been mentioned. Okay, in maybe a little bit more detail. Let's go. Traditional schooling. The issue of maintaining traditional education has long been a contentious issue over the last few decades. Genius. Despite the tremendous benefits that can be derived, it should not be forgotten that there is not only one way for gaining knowledge, singular plural. Whether the traditional approaches are still beneficial is yet to be determined. Okay, good introduction. Good. First and foremost, there are plenty of learning methodologies that are not taught in the conventional educational system, or in the conventional education system as well. In essence, experiences are as important as theories in books. Hence, learning skills through practical work is gradually recognized. To exemplify, the UK government has, we can just say, for example, it's a more common one, okay? And to exemplify means something slightly different, okay? So, for example, the UK government has recently promoted apprenticeships for non-college students, which received unanticipated success and support with a T from employers and teenagers. Consequently, if this trend continues to gain popularity, there might be needs for reviewing. Okay, there might be a need for reviewing the entire traditional education system, which you've already used traditional education system, or there might be there might be a need for reviewing. Let's see. Academic or the British academic development system, maybe. Yeah, the British. Let's see, for reviewing national academic development. Similar, isn't it? Okay. From another stance, I would have gone with on the other hand. Okay, it's just a more common expected collocation there. Okay, and it's perfectly acceptable as well. You might get bored of it as a writer, but the reader probably won't. Okay, so we could say, on the other hand, or alternatively, the old-fashioned education system, or alternatively, old-fashioned education might play havoc with a student's path, to growth. That's not very clear. With a student's intellectual development. This is due to the fact that children are oftentimes educated under a structured path. How many times have we mentioned path? 3 times. So be careful. Are often educated under a structured manner, starting from primary school to university studies, which, and finally, often restricts their thoughts regarding alternative routes and development. Now, I'm struggling to get through this, and I think the reason is because it's a relatively complex way of saying that there's sort of like alternatives, or it's a very structured way. Okay. So maybe we could have gone for a more simpler argument, or even just expressed it in a simpler way. Okay, just to make sure we were completely understood. To illustrate this, recent studies have demonstrated that over 60% of the billionaires on Earth do not have a university. Okay, when it's only an when it's a vowel sound, not when it's an actual a vowel. Okay, because we can say I have studied for an MBA, and that starts with M, but it sounds like an E, M. Okay, so having 60% of the billionaires do not have, or we could just say lack, a university or even high school qualification, because you can't get a degree from high school. As a result, even having gained proper education, an individual's success are hardly guaranteed, or are not guaranteed as well, but hardly would have just emphasized it a little bit more. By and large, although traditional teaching holds its own advantages, there are still other routes available in society, notably practical training. For this reason, I believe reconsidering the education system, reconsidering education might be a positive trend. Okay? If you say it's a trend, it seems a little bit neutral. If you say it's a positive trend, you're showing your stance, you're showing your position. Good work there, Alex. Good work. And I'm happy for you to that you've carried on continuing. Okay, I'll send the pack straight away with the link, and yeah, we can carry on improving. Well done, my friend.